not many people would understand the paranormal nor believe in it. They either just can't comprehend it or they never had witnessed it. That is where we come in. When it comes down to our kind of business, we're not just exterminators. Our main job is to try helping these wandering spirits to return and cross over into the afterlife in peace. Spirit Resource has been going for generation to generation as of the secret society, based off of the beliefs of different facets of how there would be spirits that would wander the earth, and either there would be wandering, unsure of whether or not to return to the afterlife with their ancestors, be somewhat as tricksters or rogues, causing all kinds of mischief and mayhem among the living, or just be very hostile towards the very people that they were associated with, or just because they have no reason to go back.
The house that my parents bought was built in 1848. It had been owned by a family and passed down through the years. Before we bought it, two sisters owned it. One of the sisters had killed the other sister in the house, and it had sat vacant for a very long time. When my parents bought it, it was full of, their old things, and being that of course it was old, it kind of, smelled funny, and there were creaks in the floors. But as we lived there for a while, we had experiences where the lights would shut off, or you'd hear things in the middle of the night that were strange. There were times when the house would get really cold and you could feel like someone was near you or by you, but you couldn't see them.
I didn't come here in the US before high school, and my grandfather passed away from us when I was in kindergarten. So after his death, in Chinese tradition, we have to light up candles and burn paper money to him, so he will have nice life in the afterlife. So my grandparents' house, there was a small garden in front of it, so we were doing that at the outer edge of the garden. Across from my grandparents' apartment was the back of another building. So there was a huge area of brushwood on the ground of the back of the building. One time when I was in second grade or third grade, our family decided to pour some paper money to my grandfather. So we went to the outer edge of the garden and started burning. I was standing across from the garden, but at the edge of the brushwood, and looking at my family doing everything. And after they put all things together, they turned around, called me loudly to ask me go back to inside of the apartment. And I was about to take a step towards them. I felt my ankles got grabbed, and I looked back. There was only ashes of paper money that other family left. I guess that was a wandering spirit wanted me to stay.
It immediately started when I celebrated my 14th birthday. That's when things started to get weird in the house. I started noticing all these paranormal activities when I start having nightmares, but they're quite clear and distinct. I remember my first actual proper disturbance was during my sleep, and I remember hearing the sound of a woman laughing into my ear while I was trying to recite some prayers that my family taught me when being disturbed by all this, such spirits or entities or whatsoever, which clearly states how common it is for these kind of things and disturbances to happen in my country here. The moment I woke up, I remember being in a sitting position, and I had weird marks on my neck because I remember feeling like I was strangled in my sleep while I was struggling with the prayers. From that point on, it started to drag on when I was still up reading a book at 2 a.m. in my room, and then suddenly something started tugging on my leg and I screamed. I shared a bed with my parents for a whole week because I was really scared of my room. I remember hearing a man laughing outside my window, and I was living on the top floor, And when I peeked out, I could see like a man dressed in white walking past my gate at midnight. But he looked like he was floating. I didn't know where to go. I don't know I don't know what I could consider as my safe point, because even in my sleep, I get disturbed all the time.
You alright? Let's go. Let's help her up. Come on. Gone beyond! Gone altogether beyond! All enlightenment, be it so! Hell!
We pose no threat to you. We have come to bring you peace. Please return with your ancestors. Return to your new home. Do not fret. Bring yourself peace. Return on home. Return to the afterlife for which you belong to. Do not strain yourself upon this plane of existence. You don't belong here. You belong with the family beyond.
Sangate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Bara Gate Bara Sangate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Bara Gate Bara Sangate Bodhi